Hello, I'm Laura. I'm a fourth year nursing student about to graduate sometime next year in April, which is super exciting, but it means that I need to get real. I need to start focusing on my career and moving forward in that aspect. So what I've decided to do was create a YouTube channel, and I want to base it primarily on goal attainment. I am making this video on the first day that I've quit smoking. It's been about 12 hours now since I woke up, since my last cigarette last night. I put together this goal attainment worksheet last night and I said that's enough, that's that. It's about time I finally pass on smoking. My desired outcomes are to hope to build up the willpower to pass on smoking for good. I hope to gradually remove the nicotine from my body through the use of gum so that smoke cessation will be easier to maintain. I want to be able to run longer until my body gives out before my lungs do. Decrease my chances of lung cancer and cardiovascular complications. Those do run in my family, so I am at a higher risk. Gain control over this and not allow it to have so much power over me, and become an advocate of health. So here we go, day one. It's Laura here. I'm on day 2 of quitting smoking, and it is an uphill battle right now. The only issue was I've been eating a lot. Just been really hungry. It was a very consuming day today, and I don't want to do that again tomorrow or at all, because I don't want to be substituting one habit for the next, right? Especially if it's a bad habit. I mean, it makes sense if I'm choosing a healthier habit like jogging or yoga or just going to the gym. Yeah, so day 2, still pushing through. I got to day 3 and I was like, this is exactly like day 2. It sucks all around. So but then once I made it through day 3, for some reason I had that sense of accomplishment and I got to the reward. I put down an ice cream from Marble Slab, but to be honest, I was eating so much throughout those 3 days because the cravings and the decrease in hunger suppressant, and then I thought maybe that wasn't such a good idea. So instead I rewarded myself with a day out with a friend for dinner. So yeah, I still felt that sense of accomplishment and got to reward myself and got some more gum, some more nicotine gum. And that was that. That was my accomplishment after 3 days. And then I kind of left it at that and kept chewing the gum, and then moved to week 1. And yeah, I reevaluated what was working, what wasn't working. I went back to my strengths and looked through those again. It's actually been getting much easier, so I'm pretty happy about that. I had a dinner party a few days ago, and most of the people that I had invited were non-smokers anyway, so it wasn't too hard. Some of them were smokers, so they just went outside, went next door to my neighbor's place and smoked there. But we also had hookah here too, so it was difficult to have that smoking again. So the next day was the difficult part, so I didn't smoke while I was drinking. I ended up chewing the gum, and that helped a lot, and it helped that I was around people who were not smoking, and it just wasn't in my immediate environment. But then the next day, I had so many cravings. It was very, very difficult. So I was chewing a lot more gum that day, and yeah, I wanted to exercise, but again, I was a little hungover. It was a day for celebration for completing my nursing degree. I hate to admit it, but I fell off a little bit. Yeah, I made it all the way through Christmas, which was great, and my sisters actually smoke, so being around them, I felt like I was being strong for them too, showing them if I could do it, then they can do it. But as soon as I got home, I met up with a friend and decided to have some scotch and pretend that we were masters of our universe, which was just a bunch of bull, because by the end of it, we decided to pull out some cigars, and that's what kind of cascaded everything.
I knew it would be drinking too, if it were to be anything at all. Drinking is one of my huge triggers, along with the social component, like I'd mentioned earlier. And I think I just got ahead of myself and felt like I was doing so good if I can go back home and still not smoke. And then I just kind of, I don't know, I guess my ego got in the way and I felt like I was more in control than I actually was. It's a powerful habit and it just kind of took me over. I am making a video on the third day of my after relapse. I fell off a bit and found out a few things about myself, and this is me just getting back on it, continuing to evaluate as planned and sticking with it. So I'm holding myself accountable by continually looking at what's working and what's not and following through with that evaluation piece. As I was progressing through earlier, I stopped evaluating. I felt like I was on top of it more than I actually proved to be. So in hopes of preventing further relapses, I've been continuing to evaluate as planned. I'm at every 3 days for 9 days and then going to every week for 3 weeks and so on and so forth, choosing an arbitrary number of 3 because it's just easy to remember. Hello, Laura here. I'm doing my evaluation on the 6th day since I got back on it. Again, doing it every 3 days, staying on top of it because the evaluation piece is so crucial. It's showing commitment and endurance and just proving to myself that I'm worth the time and effort to have a little sit down and kind of evaluate what's happening. So far, I haven't really had very many addiction or cravings. I've chewed the gum maybe once or twice here and there. A friend brought over some cigars and was drinking as well. I passed on both, so I'm pretty happy about that. Still able to hang out and enjoy my life and good company. So yeah, things are going great. I'm keeping with it and just staying on top of things. It's a good feeling. I am on day 9 of continuing to pass smoking and pass on smoking, and I feel like I'm doing great. I haven't touched any cigarettes at all. I have had occasions where the opportunity has presented itself and I've passed and said no thank you. I've been very clear on my goals and just following through with them for the most part. New strengths that have presented themselves is yoga and physical activity. I've been playing a lot more volleyball and going to yoga, hot yoga. I have a month membership right now and it's just been going amazing. It's been relieving so much stress and helping me find an outlet because yeah, anytime I'd have a craving, I would just take a moment to relax and take some deep breaths. And a lot of the yoga teachings have helped me to slow things down around me and use meditation to calm myself down and just take a minute, just take a breath and appreciate that breath because it's gotten so much easier after quitting smoking. I'm able to push myself a little further with yoga. I'm able to really get active in volleyball, so that's great. These are a lot of positive outcomes that are starting to present themselves, which is great. So today is a reward day. I'm really excited about that. I wanted to get something that kind of encouraged this positive behavior. I'm thinking of getting some shorts, some workout shorts, so that I could play volleyball in them and continue to do some more hot yoga with them as well. Just encouraging more activity. Yeah. What is it? It's 16 since I've had a cigarette. About 2 months now, if I'm not including the little slip I had. So 2 months since I've made the conscious decision, 16 days since I've had a cigarette, and I am feeling great. So good. I don't even really crave it. I have the gum. I hardly chew it. I've been hanging around with some friends who still smoke, and yeah, they're very respectful. I'm just very adamant about what I'm doing and verbalizing everything that's been going on, and they've been really good about it. They don't smoke around me, and yeah, I'm super grateful for that. It's just been really good. It's been moving along nicely. I've been extremely busy lately, so I haven't had time to smoke. I'm doing my final focus right now, so lots of things to do. Been working really hard lately. I am on week 3. I was late for one of my evaluations for passing on smoking. I had a few cigarettes. I'm not proud of it at all, but I'm just gonna be honest about it. I was hanging out with a friend and we were studying for our CRNE exam, which is our registered nursing exam, and we decided to get a couple bottles of wine just to kind of take off the edge. We've been working really hard lately and studying on top of it and doing our practicum at the same time, so it's been really busy. And we thought maybe a few glasses of wine and some study time would do us well, work on our skills and knowledge base, but that's not the way it went. We ended up just having a few drinks, trying to cover some material, and then drinking some more. I told myself I was just going to have a couple glasses because when I'm just drinking small amounts, it's not a problem at all. It's just kind of a social component. But very easy to lose sight of that and get carried away. So after about 3 or 4 glasses of wine, some cigarettes came out from our neighbor who had come over, and we just had a few cigarettes and drank some wine. And I woke up the next morning and my throat was scratchy and my chest was extremely heavy from quitting for that period of time and then smoking. I had about 3 or 4 cigarettes too. I just kind of said, screw it, one, and then just opened the floodgates and kept on smoking. And yeah, woke up in the morning and regretted it and didn't smoke again. Haven't smoked since, but still, yeah, just being honest with it. I don't want to be a smoker. I obviously got carried away. I didn't make a goal attainment model for quitting drinking. I thought that maybe I could just socially sip, and it was working for a bit, but then it's hard to keep track of and easy to get carried away with, which is what happened. Times are extremely difficult right now, as I'm sure they get in anybody's life. I've just been working for free with my practicum, and it's like starting a new job and working my old job once or twice a week and hardly getting any sort of income, and trying to study so I can get my nursing exam and become a registered nurse and finally just make it through all this. And it's the big stretch right now, and it's so important to me, and I'm going to do it. It's just really difficult right now and easy to revert back to old habits.